Hello everybody, I'm Merisu the Art Sheep, and thank you so much for checking out this video. And today I am drawing fan art of the amazing digital circus, which I gotta say, it's very different from what I usually do.
For those who are new to my channel, first of all, hi, hello, welcome to my channel.
So glad that you could make it.
But yeah, I usually draw art that is more in an anime-inspired style. Well, pretty much is anime, you know what I mean.
I don't really do cartoons at all, and this is a very different kind of cartoon, but I gotta say it was really fun, and I'm really happy with how this looked because I was not sure. Originally, I was planning on just doing Ragatha because Ragatha is one of my favorite characters in the show, and I like Ragatha's design a lot, so I was just going to do Ragatha. But then, the more I started thinking about it, the more I really wanted to do the rest of the characters, so I just put them all in. Now, the only characters who I did not include in this drawing are Bubble and Kane. I didn't include Kane because, one, Kane would be way too hard to draw, probably. And two, but I would have tried to do it, like I would have just bit the bullet the same way I did with Zooble and Gangle and try, but Kane, as of right now, is gone, so I figured it would just be more fitting for the fan art for it not to include Kane. So Kane, adios amigos. And for Bubble, I don't know where Bubble is. Bubble's probably still around, but
Bubble's just not here in this fan art. And it's totally not because I forgot all about Bubble. Oh well.
But yeah, I am glad because it was a challenge, but it was one that I think I did really nicely with. So for the style, I thought of like an Alice in Wonderland theme of, you know, falling down the rabbit hole. That's what came to my mind from the very beginning. And then when I was watching a Rosary stream opening starts with like an animation of her character Rosary falling down in a rabbit hole because it's very much Alice in Wonderland themed with the White Rabbit and Alice, and I was like, that looks really nice. So I did like use that as a major inspiration, which is kind of funny because then when I start looking at some of the promotional art, I was like, oh, it's also featuring them falling. Well, hopefully people don't think that I copied those because I didn't. I didn't even look at the promotional art while I was drawing this. I just looked at images that I found on the wiki, which were like the main images for each character, and used that as my references. And I didn't use any promotional art, so everything here is an original sheep idea. So for the Amazing Digital Circus, when it first came out, I did not watch it, and in fact I haven't watched it since this year. This is the year that I watched it. And the very first time I saw it, I wasn't paying attention at all because my brother was watching it himself. I had just come home from the theater and I just was like, okay, I'll draw since he's watching something, and I was listening to it in the background, and I remember making jokes because I didn't have any context to anything. And then Nora Vanguard contacted me a couple of months later and said, hey, the finale is going to be airing in theaters. Do you want to go with me to see it? We can watch the entire show so that way you'll be caught up. Do you want to? And at first I said no, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, it actually might be fun. So we ended up watching the show one episode at a time per night, and it was actually really fun. I'm not going to say it's going on any of my top 10 lists for cartoons, but I actually was really surprised on it. I wasn't expecting it to be good, and I was kind of thinking that it would just be so-so. Because I remember when I watched Ruby, I ended up really liking it, and then it ended up going so downhill. And so because of that, I've always just been kind of a little... I've always just been... Ever since Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, I've never been that fond of jumping into shows that are new, because it's like, what if I don't like it? I mean, when I say new, I mean still running. If it's over, then I'm like, okay, then I can look at the reception and see how people received it, and I don't have to wait for each episode to come out, and if I don't like it, I can easily stop it, and I don't have to be invested, and it's just like, I can take it in and really figure out if I like it. But with a show that's currently running, I'm like, I don't know. So because of that, I don't actually like drawing fan art of shows that are still running or shows that I haven't seen the ending to. it's just something that's always been kind of a pet peeve with me. And again, I think it started with Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, because I ended up drawing a lot of fan art for that, but then when it ended, I hated the ending of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, so I'm like, nope. And I ended up even deleting some of the videos because I disliked Vrains that much. I kept some of them, though, because I really do like Blue Angel's design, so I did keep those, and those are also some of my most popular videos on my channel, so I wasn't going to totally nuke those, but the other ones, goodbye fan art of Yusaku, goodbye fan art of Homuro, goodbye. I hated you. You were a waste of time. But at least with this, The Amazing Digital Circus, it was only 6 episodes. No, it was 9. Yeah, 9 episodes. The last one is going to be in theater, so it's right around the corner. And I'm hoping I enjoy it. And that's pretty much, like, all I care about is if I enjoy it, because I know sometimes fans will never be happy. I remember when Attack on Titan ended. Everybody hated the ending. I actually liked it. I mean, I don't think it was everybody, but a lot of people did hate it. I even think Isayama himself had some problems with it. I don't know what they were. I didn't see the review, which makes sense. It's always hard to do a show or a story, so I can understand it. And the one thing I will say is, like, making a beginning of a story is really hard. Making a middle to the story is a little bit easier because you already got the feel, you know the direction your show's going to go. Well, show, story, same thing. And you know how it is. And so you're like, okay, I can do this. I know what it's going to be like. I know my tone. I know my characters more. So it is definitely easier. But then writing an ending is a completely different thing. And we all know just because you can write a good middle doesn't mean you can write a good ending. Game of Thrones.
Stranger Things.
The Boys. So oddly enough, I actually didn't watch any of those shows. Stranger Things was never my cup of tea, and The Boys and Game of Thrones were way too violent, so I just never watched them, but it was very entertaining for me as an outsider to see everyone spaz out about the endings. So it was like, man, I'm sorry your show sucked. And like I said, with Vrains, it's like, it's very hard for me to get invested in something and give it the years of my life if I don't know how it ends. So I do hope this ends satisfying, at least for me. I do know that no matter how it ends, there will be a lot of fans who probably aren't happy, because that's the only way it always is. It's always that way. Anyway, back to the drawing concept. Like I said, it was very much inspired off of Alice in Wonderland, of them falling down the rabbit hole, and first going to just be Ragatha, but the more I started thinking about it, I did think it would be really worthwhile to try to put them all in there, and I am glad because it turned out really wonderful, and I had such a fun time coloring. It was very relaxing. It only took me 4 hours to do this drawing. I really did like working on the background with the crazy effects. It was just really fun. I think if I could have probably changed anything, is I could have probably done a little bit better with Jax. Looks a little weird in the face and stuff, and the composition probably ain't the best. So Zooble, I thought Zooble would be very hard because, I mean, Zooble's body's like, but Zooble was actually really easy. It was just a matter of getting the shapes right, and that was pretty easy because it's very basic drawing stuff. Gangle I knew was going to be a nightmare, and Gangle was a nightmare because the ribbons, they kind of unravel whenever there's like gravity involved, but when like Gangle's just standing there, it's like in a bean shape, which makes sense. That's how you do the simplified body, but I just wasn't quite sure what to do, so I was like going back and forth, and in the end I kind of went for compromise, so it's half bean shape and half unravel. I could have done better, but I do like how Gangle's face turned out. With Jax, the face could have been a little bit better, and the body just looks a little stiff, probably also a little too tall, but it was kind of hard to figure out how tall each one of the characters were next to each other, because when I'm looking at the measurements, I'm like, oh, okay, that's really different. Kinger was really easy. It was just a chess piece in a robe. And then you got the googly eyes. I really do like them. Pomni was also kind of hard too, but I think I did pretty good. And Ragatha was probably the most easiest and the most funnest for me to draw. And I probably say my favorite characters are probably Kinger and then Ragatha. I would have drawn Kinger too, because like I said, it was just Ragatha. I think think I said that 3 times. But Ragatha is more, I figured was more visually interesting. It's kind of weird just drawing a chess piece. But I am glad that I did do all of them, because like I said, it turned out really nice. And it was definitely a nice challenge for me. And just something new, because it's always fun to kind of try something, get out of your comfort zone, work on something else, and I am very glad. The only thing that I hate is that, so I'm doing my race to 300 speed paints, I'm doing them, I'm on schedule, but I ended up getting behind schedule with my Vivaldi speed paint, my 295, because it just was so time consuming because there was so much to it, and I ended up getting like totally off track, and then I ended up putting in the Merisu speed paint. I was sweating bullets to upload that one, but I made it, and I uploaded on the 2nd, and this one was supposed to come out on the 3rd, but I didn't make it, so I ended up uploading it today, which is kind of fitting because this is the day that it's going to be, the finale will be airing in theaters, so I guess that's good. I wanted it to be before, but whatever, it's gonna be after, so probably better, but I knew I definitely needed to upload it today. I wanted it to be today, but because of that though, I wasn't able to do any ever speed paint because I was kind of going, once I got to the 290s, I was kind of going in a pattern of original art, fan art, original art, fan art, original art, fan art, but no one else knew about it except for me until now, so I guess the only person I disappointed was myself, which is usually who I typically disappoint when I'm drawing. It is funny, Gangle and Ragatha both have like things in them, and like, I kind of identify with that. It's like, because then Gangle's like, oh, you want to make a manga-inspired webcomic, but you realize it's not going to be a fruitful career, so you just give up. I'm like, where have I heard that before? Anyway, then I just added this digital background, you know, since it's the digital Circus, and then added some static just to kind of make it look like a TV or a computer screen, and bada bing, bada boom, and it was done, and I gotta say, it was really fun. It was just something different, and I hope I like the ending, because if I don't, then I might regret this fan art. But for now, I am really happy with it, and if you liked it, do all the YouTube things, and if you did not, thank you so much for watching this far anyway. It means a lot to me, and until next time, I will be back with another speed paint real soon. Until then, bye! Oh, side note, has anyone noticed that Kane's song, Running the Show, sounds a lot like the song Master of Your Fate, sung by the villain Mumbo Jumbo from Teen Titans?
Don't bother getting up, you're in my control. No way for you to fuss and fight. I've taken all your powers, so lucky you. You will be in my show tonight. You think you can defeat me? Oh, how very droll. Well, Titan's one thing you should know. I am the one with magic powers round here. I am the one who runs the show.
Seems our regime has plummeted south. Don't need to scream if you ain't got a mouth. Why bite the hand that feeds when it's the only hand you're getting? It's time you see that this great marquee is the only place you're ever gonna be. So strap on in and take it on the chin, and don't forget who's running the show.
Not only are they kind of in a similar style, similar beat, but they're even about the same kind of thing with a villain torturing the main characters as he explains he's the one in control of everything. I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's not. Probably is a coincidence, though. Until next time, bye!